I'm going to talk here just a little bit this morning about old houses that you can buy. This is one I bought the other day, last week for like $1,200, including the quarter acre of land that it sits on. It's got a nice old building over there, you can see. Building needs a roof. The house roof don't look too bad. It's got a big tree fell on the back of it in the back, but I want to talk here just a little bit about old houses that you can buy. Now, like I said, I bought that one for $1,200, but here's another one right next door that's all grown up. Found that the guy on this one is supposedly retired, and the guy that owns it, and he lives somewhere else, doesn't live in the house. And eventually it's going to be sold. Or eventually he's going to sell it when he gets ready. I made some inquiries about it, but right now he's not interested in selling it. Best thing you can do on these old houses is just put your name and number out there, and let people know that you're interested, and they will take and if something happens, they'll take and get back with you and let you know that something's going on, and you can take and buy the thing. Wife and I, we bought a lot of old houses and fixed them up. Some of them were not in very bad shape at all. The people just wanted to get rid of them, didn't want the hassle, and they took a little bit of money, and we made the deal with them, and we got the house and did a little work on it, and rented it out. We've got quite a few rentals, and we got most of them really cheap. The thing about it, what you do is you take and just get in your car and drive around and look. And if you see an old house like this one down here that's got a lot of grown up trees and bushes and stuff around it, just make an inquiry of the neighbor, or do a search. You can get on the internet and you can find out who owns these things. Just look up the tax record, or you can go to the county tax office and just give them the address, and they can look up and tell you who owns it. And then you can get on Facebook and hunt down the people, or hunt down the next of kin. And if you keep working on it diligently, then you can get a hold of the owner and find out whether or not they're interested. And if they're not interested, just keep their name and number, and keep checking back with them. And also just check with the neighbors. Keep checking with the neighbors, and that's the way you do it. And you can type up your own deeds, and it's a fairly easy thing to do. All you got to do is just go to the county and where they have them filed, and just make a few copies of them, and just kind of pattern your deed after those deeds. And you can also check the county and see if they've got a mortgage on them, or any sorts of liens on them. And that way you know that when you're buying them, that they're free and clear. Now, if you go through a title attorney, they'll do a title search, and they can type up the deeds for you. But if they do a title search and type up the deed for you, then it's going to cost you probably $500-600. You can do that yourself. You can do your own title search, and you can type up your own deed. Won't cost you anything. My experience is, if I go to a title attorney and have him type up a deed and do a title search, it's going to take him a month to get that done. And if he goes real fast, it'll take him a couple of weeks. The reason being is in the small town that I live in, the title attorneys not only do title work, they do a lot of other stuff too. They practice law and they do all sorts of things, divorce cases, uh, in various types of illegal cases, drugs and theft, and you name it. They do all sorts of things. Right in this particular area and in the small towns, you'll find that your attorneys are jack of all trades. They do anything and everything, anything to make a buck. Now, if you get around your big cities, you can take and have title attorneys. You'll have title attorneys around your big cities, and that's all they do is title work, typing up deeds and doing title searches and doing real estate settlements. But out here in the country, the attorneys, they'll do anything and everything just to make a dollar. So anyway, that's the way it is out here in the country. Now, what I'm doing, like I say, I'm fixing up this old house across the road, but we just bought one for my wife a few a few months ago. We bought it, I think it's December right now. We bought it back in July or August, sometime like that. She worked on it for a couple of months, and then she's got it rented out right now. She's got it rented out for $650. We paid $3,000 for it, and I think she put about $10,000 in it. She could put a brand new roof on it. Got a great big tree cut out in front of the property, and she put some linoleum in it and had some furnace work done and some electrical work. But she didn't put that much in it. But we paid $3,000 for it. The house is probably worth $50,000 or $60,000, and she put, like I say, about $10,000 in it or something like that. She did most of the work herself, a lot of it, cleaning it up and painting it and so forth. And she has got it rented out for $650, and it'll make her some money. She'll get all of her money back within a matter of a couple of years. We've also bought houses. We bought one a few years ago for like $10,000. It was in really, really good shape. We could have turned right around and sold it for like $40,000 or $50,000 if we'd have wanted to. But we don't do that. We just buy them and fix them up and rent them out. We bought several houses for like $5,000. We bought houses for $12,000. And bought them for $10,000, a couple of them. Actually, we haven't paid. We bought quite a few houses in the last few years, and we haven't. We very seldom pay over a few $1,000s for a house. If it's a real nice house and we really like it, then we might spend a little bit of money, but we don't spend that much on them. It just takes a lot of research to find these houses. What you got to do is you got to get out and drive around, make inquiries of the neighbors, go to the courthouse, search for these properties. If you search for them, you can find them. They're everywhere. Just look for a house that needs some TLC, that's in distress, bushes and shrubs grown up, shrubs not being pruned, house not being taken care of. And you can rest assured that the house is the people that's living there. Either they're alcoholics, or they got a drug problem, or they're just lazy as all get out. So what you need to do is you need to take and drive around and look and find these properties. You can find good deals. They're out there. And you can type up your own deeds, type up your own title work. And you can save yourself a lot of money. The reason why I like doing this is because I don't like to buy houses at auction, because if you buy a house at auction, you're bidding against other people, and people will get crazy on these old houses. They'll pay a lot more than what they're worth. And auctions and tax sales, And a tax sale is an auction, like, is not a good way to buy old houses. The thing about buying old houses is I like to be the only person bidding. And if I find the house and I contact the owner of the house, even if it's an old house like this one over here that's really, really grown up, if I contact the owner, then I'm the only one dealing with that owner, not a bunch of other people. So I'm the lone bidder. And if you're the lone bidder on these properties, then you can get yourself some good deals. And if they want too much, don't be afraid to walk away. Just tell them that, say, you know, if you can come down from that, and you decide that you can be more flexible than what you are right now, just give me a holler. And you can check back with them every 6 months or every year or so. And the thing about it is, if they've got your name and they've got your telephone number, and they run into a situation where they need money for some reason or the other, or they want some money for some reason or the other, they'll give you a call. And also another thing is, on these houses and stuff, I can do a deal. I can find the house, and once I contact the owner and so forth, if they want to do something, I can type up the deed and get the money from the bank. I can do a deal in a day. Whereas if you go through a title attorney, it's going to take you a month or so for that to do that. And if you have to go to a bank and get a loan, it's going to take you a long time. But if you got your own money, if you got a few $1,000s, then you can take and do a deal. I do a lot of deals in less than a day or a couple of days. People call me and they want the money, and I type up the deed, go to the bank, get the money, and we do the deal. I meet them at the way it is. The way I do it is I meet them at the bank, and they sign the deed, and it's notarized by a notary, and most banks have notaries. And they get their money, and I get the deed, and I take the deed straight to the courthouse and get it recorded. And that's the way I do it. So you can buy these old houses for cheap, and you can fix them up and rent them out, and you can make a lot of money doing this. And also, if you're retired or on disability, or if you have some money, or if you're just a private individual and you want to do this, then you can do it. I mean, it's not a problem. It's a lot of work, and you got to fix up the old houses and so forth. But it's something that you can do. You can definitely make money, and you can definitely buy these old houses really, really cheap. You can buy houses that are worth $100,000 for a few $1,000s if you look around and you're smart and you know what you're doing, and you're careful too, because people always need money for something. And if you got the money and you can do a deal right now, then you can definitely buy these old houses for very cheap prices and fix them up, and then you can make a lot of money doing this. Anyway, that's a little bit about buying these old houses and how you go about doing it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be putting some more videos on here about foreclosures and some other things, and about getting people evicted from homes and things of that nature, because we've got quite a good many rental properties, and we've been doing this for a long time, and I know quite a good bit about it. So if you're interested, please subscribe, and if I post anything else, you'll get notified. Thanks, and you folks have a nice day.